We're going to work on measurement this morning. I've tried posting this lesson about 5 times, so hopefully it works this time. So what you need to keep in mind for the first lesson you're going to do in measurement is that there are different sizes of measurements, okay? First thing, you're going to need to remember kilo, as in kilogram, kilometer. It means 1,000. So a kilometer is 1,000 meters. A kilogram is 1,000 grams. You're also going to have to remember milli. Milli means 1,000th. So a millimeter is 1,000th of a meter. A milligram is 1,000th of a gram. Okay? We're going to use a set of stairs. I would copy this onto your page to help you remember. Okay, so if we're talking about linear distance, how you measure how long something is, millimeter is the smallest we're going to deal with, right? Centimeter is the next biggest. A millimeter is about, if I make a dot with my marker, the length of that dot is about a millimeter. A centimeter, it's maybe the width of your baby finger, okay? Then we get to a meter. Then there's something called a decimeter. It's the stupidest measurement ever. Nobody in the history of the world has ever measured anything in a decimeter, but it's 10 meters. And then at the top, you're gonna have kilometers. That's the biggest measurement we're gonna deal with. Every step you take up is times 10. So to go from millimeters to centimeters, times 10. Centimeters to meters, times 10. Meters to silly decimeters, times 10. Decimeters to kilometers, times 10. Okay? Now, sometimes they're going to ask you to make 2 jumps at once. You can just do times 10 twice if you like, but sometimes they're going to ask you to go from millimeters to meters. Let's pretend that the millimeters, it was 2, okay? So 2 millimeters. If I'm going to centimeters, I'd go times 10, would give me 20 centimeters. Then if I was going to meters, I would go 20 times 10, which would give me 200, right? So 2 millimeters is 200, or 2 meters is 200 millimeters, okay? But what you can do is if you have to make a skip, you can combine the times 10 and times 10 so that if it was 2 times, so that it's times 100 rather than doing times 10 twice. But that's up to you, okay? So I think that's basically all you needed to know for lesson 1. The first piece is times 1,000, which you guys should be amazing at because it's just skipping the decimal, 3 places, 3 zeros and 1,000. When you're converting millimeters to centimeters, you have to think in your head, okay, I have millimeters, I'm converting them to centimeters. If I am measuring something in millimeters and now I want to measure it in centimeters, it's going to take way less centimeters to make the same distance. So in that case, I would be dividing by 10 because there's going to be fewer centimeters, okay? If I'm going from kilometers to meters, think about it. The distance from our school to Tim Hortons would be about 1 kilometer, right? If you measured it in kilometers, it might only take you 1 of those. But to measure it in meters, think about all the meter sticks you'd have to lay out to measure that same distance. So it would take a lot of meters. So it's times 10. So when I'm going up the steps, it's times 10. When I'm coming down the steps, you're going to divide. Okay? Oh, I'm wrong. Going up the steps, it's divide. Going down the steps, it's times. Because there would be more of each as you went down. Okay? So for every step up, we're going divided by 10, divided by 10, divided by 10. And for coming down the steps, we're going times 10, times 10, times 10, times 10. Okay? The same works for, like, they're going to ask you about liters and grams and meters. It's the same thing. It's just factors of 10. So if I'm changing from grams to kilograms, or from kilograms to grams, it's times 1,000, because kilo means 1,000. Look for those beginnings of the words to help you out and figure out what you're supposed to times it by. Right? I think that's it.